a game by Salz playing Maokai. We watched him in a game a little while ago on Maokai, and he had a lot of trouble during that game. So we're going to see if he was able to improve his Maokai play and do a little bit better after practicing a little bit. They get into an early fight during which they kill the Warwick, even though the Soraka wasn't with them. A couple things to note from both these teams is that you shouldn't be face checking that middle bush, and that you probably shouldn't invade unless you have your entire team, because had Warwick not face checked like that, Saul's team would have been at a serious disadvantage fighting a 4-on-5. At level 1, the fights mostly come down to numbers because everyone is at the same level, everyone has one skill, everyone has 475 gold worth of items, so if you haven't gained an advantage by then, you're just fighting a numbers battle, and it's very dangerous to be on the side down on those numbers. Now, one thing Saul's could have done here was, since he wasn't starting Wraiths because of the invade, he could have tried to stack some saplings. They only have a 12-second cooldown, and he got here a little bit before 140, I believe. So he could have tried to throw one down, just would have helped him clear it a little bit quicker, but he got it pretty quickly. Timo helped him out, so nothing big here. Just be watching him clear up quick, so hopefully he'll be able to get a good level 3, level 4 gank is what he'll be looking to do. Now they noticed that Warwick had apparently tried to steal their red. Now Warwick is not a strong champion early on. At level 2 he only has one real combat ability. He does have 2 combat abilities, but his auto attacking isn't going to be extremely strong compared to abilities at level 1. So he's going to be bursted down a lot of times before he has time to utilize his W when he's in fights in the jungle, smaller skirmishes. So it's not really wise to invade with Warwick. It's best just to rush 6 and try to get off some very powerful ganks when you hit that. And Warwick chose to try to invade, which put him in a very bad position, and Salz's team and him reacted well, and they were able to get the kill and able to pick up the red buff right afterwards. Now, one thing is that Maokai can gank at level 3 once he has his because he can take all 3 of his abilities by then, but you'll notice that all the lanes were pushed, so Salz made a good decision to get the second level of sapling, which is better for clearing, and to wait on ganking until the lanes had pushed out a bit. And you'll see that Riven is now further out than she was before, and that he is trying to sneak in for a lane gank, which is very powerful. He notices that Riven went aggressive, and he's able to get on her and with Timo's damage take her down. Right now, unless Timo is going back, Saul should just make his way out of the lane to let Timo take advantage of the XP and stay ahead of Riven. Right now he has a good opportunity to pick up his Philistone and some boots and possibly a couple of wards. He chooses to go with a no magic mantle instead. That is an item that he will be building into the Merc Treads likely later, but it isn't something that he needs to rush, so he may have been better off going with just a couple wards or some health pots, because the no magic mantle isn't going to do a lot when the enemy AP is still low level. They get a pretty good gank off, and they actually could have probably played a little bit more aggressively on that MF. Had he twisted advantage to MF and used his spells, Varus may have been able to kill her. But he got a kill and he played it safe, and he got out, so he made sure that his good play didn't turn into an even play or a bad play by feeding the red buff. If he's trying to gank here, he should have probably come from behind, but it looks like he's just trying to push the Gragas off the tower, so it's fine that he came from the safer route, the route closer to his tower. This Morgana really needs to try to get back because she's in a very dangerous position. But luckily, when she is able to hit the binding, Salz realizes that's his opportunity to be aggressive and takes down the Warwick with his CC very quickly. So an excellent play. Excellent play to notice that your opponent gets caught out of position and really take advantage. And good to cancel his back and come down to help his team when it looked like the bottom lane was getting aggressive. Now we notice here that he picks up his Merc Treads quickly. This is always a pretty good thing because it allows you to gank more aggressively because of the increased speed you have. Speed is a very important thing on junglers, which is why you'll see a lot of them running the defensive masteries with Initiator or the swiftness from utility or boots first or even move speed quints. So getting the early boots too really puts at a big advantage. He could have also, had he not bought the No Magic Mantle, he could have chose to go for a Heart of Gold, which would have been really good if he was playing a more passive farm game if his lanes weren't available for ganks. That's probably what he'll end up building next, is the Heart of Gold. Now, you notice that he had enough that he probably could have picked up a pink ward, which would really help with the dragon control. You'll notice his team has a green ward here, but there's no pink ward. Right there, they were able to dive the Gragas. Unfortunately, Morgana went down. But Maokai's around to push the wave to the tower, which will cause... Well, actually, he should be pushing right now to make Gragas lose XP. Instead, he made it so the lane will eventually push towards Gragas. After you gank, if you get a kill, and even if your laner survives, it's generally best to push it to the tower so they can deny XP and then go back. Right here, he says he's Ohm, and he sees that Morgana is still trying to be aggressive. He should just go back. He shouldn't follow that Morgana around because it's really not going to be a profitable fight for them if he does though. It's always best not to fight when you're out of mana, especially on a champion with weak auto attacks like Maokai. The Oracle's a very good buy. The team's ahead. Oracles help snowball quite a bit. And he pings the team to get Dragon. And other than the Varus, they come to help him. Varus really should be here to help them get this quickly. Not that they can't get it by themselves, but because it's much more dangerous the longer you take, even if it's unwarded. The team knows that you just killed the ward, so they may be coming to check it. And it's dangerous to have a low health Maokai and just a Soraka and a Morgana to defend him. But excellent Dragon. This shop time is very long. You want to avoid that. You always want to know what you're buying before you go back. And if you're not sure what you want, just buy so. If you're not sure what items you want, just buy something that you know will be useful, even if it's not necessarily the correct item at the time. Just buy something that would be a safe purchase. Like Maokai will eventually go for Shurelya's, so if he wasn't sure what he wanted, he could have moved for the Kindle Gem or the Ruby Crystal, which would be very safe buys and would allow him to get back out on the map. It's always good to have the correct items, but it's very important that you don't waste time in base and that you're actively on the map pushing your advantage rather than trying to decide what items to buy. Teemo is aggressively in the enemy jungle stealing their red, and it's good that Maokai comes to support. What they have to watch out for now is that Gragas is missing, and Gragas could be coming, and we see that Gragas did disappear from mid and was able to come kill them. Morgana didn't react, but the bottom lane support was also there, so they may have been walking into a 4v3 had Morgana come, and that would have been extremely devastating to lose that because he would have lost oracles. Luckily, they were able to pick up bot tower while the people were up top, while the other team was up top. Their bottom lane was able to take the tower, which is exactly what they should be doing. And a good follow-up to the Varus CC is the Maokai Twisted Advance. and he tries to save the Soraka by bumping off the Warwick, but unfortunately the damage from MF is too high. Teemo, you'll see, it was mad at Morgana for not coming and said that she killed him, but it's important that if you're going to invade, you need to let your team know and watch that your team is following you, and if your team is not following you, it's your responsibility to get out of there. It's if your teammates are not following up on your risky plays, then you need to stop making the risky plays. You can't just continue making risky plays that don't work out and playing as if your teammates were following you to justify your decisions. You need to play according to the way your teammates are playing and try to ask them or convince them to play the optimal way if you can, but not to just stubbornly decide a way they should play and then play under those assumptions, because that will just end up getting you killed. It will end up frustrating both you and your team. So, just something important to think about. Now you notice here that all these characters, Morgana was getting caught, and Maokai ran in and tried to help her. You generally can't help a 4-on-1 by turning into a 4-on-2, and he was forced to blow his flash, and he later died. Um, you sometimes you need to just let your teammates die, even though you really want to be able to help them out. But you need to just be able to make that decision of when there's nothing you can do in a situation, and just try to do something productive somewhere else instead. At this point, Maokai shouldn't be taking red. He should be going to Varus or Teemo, who are both very good with it. Just something to be sure to try to pass off to your teammates. Now, Maokai did die, and he lost his oracles, which is always a little bit frustrating, and that's probably why he didn't get another one. But since they're going to want to pressure Dragon soon at the 23-minute mark, it's a good time to start thinking about Baron, especially if you're ahead. Buying another oracles would have been a very good play, especially since he has the Frozen Heart and he's a little bit tanky now. If he plays a bit safer, he's not likely to lose it. Now after getting these couple kills, the other enemy team surrenders, so they get an easy win. So good game, definitely better ganking in this game. Just know when to let your teammates go, know when to not get into bad situations. That Teemo was a player who was likely to bait your team into tough situations by invading very aggressively, and it's important that you decide when to help him and when to let him minimize, and when you want to not fall in order to minimize the cost of his risky decision if it's going wrong. But good game, good ganks, good item choices for the most part. Maybe a second oracles would have been good there, just to help clear out for the Baron. When you're ahead, oracles, of course, is just excellent for denying vision, because it allows you to force fights. It allows you to make your opponent's face check, and when they're face checking and you're stronger than them, you gain a lot of opportunities to get easy kills and pick up easy objectives. So, good luck with your next games. I hope to see more improvement.